What's up everybody, and welcome back to Sadie B Has You Covered. I'm excited for this video today because I have been trying to upload it for a while. I've had to refilm. We've been having some issues over here, but I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday, and we are back. I also have a new schedule, a little bit different than what I posted in my first video. So my schedule is going to be Tuesday and Thursday still, but I've added a third day, and that'll be Sunday. And that day is going to be reserved for the featured product of the week. So I hope you all enjoy and stay tuned Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. So let's get into this video in particular since it's taken a lot to film. So I'm going to go over the products that I use with you first before we get into the tutorial. So first, spoolie, guys. Spoolie. You need a spoolie to brush your brows. You can use a disposable one or a brush one like the one I'm holding. Now, why I like using a spoolie is it gives me a guideline. It lets me brush my eyebrows in the direction I want them to go, and I follow that. It helps so much. You should not be doing your eyebrows if you are not brushing them first. Secondly, I like to keep a pair of scissors on hand. Why scissors? Is because after I brush them up with my spoolie, sometimes they need to be trimmed. If you trim them, you will get a cleaner shape. You won't have to do it every time, but sometimes you will. So always have these on standby, and you will see in the video where I have to use them myself today. Thirdly, our eyebrow pencil. This is the eyebrow pencil I like to use. This is a eye and eyebrow pencil by NYX. Why I use this is a total coincidence, you guys. It was an accident. I thought I was picking up like a brown, like a chocolate mahogany lip liner. It was an eyebrow pencil when I got home, so I decided to use it, and I enjoyed the consistency of it. I have used several other NYX eyebrow pencils. I've used the skinny one. I've used the longer one where the pencil is longer. The others are both retractable. This is just a pencil that you sharpen, and I enjoy this more. So this is what I use. I use the color dark brown, and you'll see that in the video. Also, I always use a concealer to clean up. Now, this is the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. I'm in the color tan, and I use this because I enjoy the thickness of it. So when I clean my brows, I like to use something that is thicker than, let's say, an LA Girl Creamy Concealer. That's a little thinner. I like to use something thicker because I can pull it and I can achieve I can achieve the sharp lines. It won't get runny. That's the best way of explaining it, and you'll see it in a second. So these 5 products are what I use on a daily basis and faithfully. If you don't want to spend the money on the Tarte Maracuja concealer, there are other drugstore options. So you're going to look for a concealer that's either in a pot, which the drugstore has, or you're going to look for Maybelline has a concealer in a wand form, and that one tends to be their thickest, I believe. So try that. I'll leave more information about that below. So stay tuned and check out the video. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye. All right, I have one eyebrow done, and you now know what I like to use. So let's start this brow and get right into it. So right now what I'm doing is I'm brushing my brows up in the very front here, and we just want to brush those straight up. Whatever is sticking out, we're going to trim just like that. Don't be afraid. It's usually very little hair that you're trimming. It's not going to make a drastic difference. You really can't mess up here. So you see how that's way cleaner now. We're going to go back and do the same thing towards the middle here. then at the end. You won't have to do this every time, but it is good to have your scissors around just in case you have to, because then you can clean your brows up right then. It helps you groom them better, because sometimes your brows are misshapen and it's because they're just long. So this helps prevent that. I'm going to go towards the end here and just do a little bit more. And we're going to brush that out. Brush that out. Now you can see that we have a way sharper brow and it's now brushed. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our NYX pencil and we're going to begin to fill in our brows. Now I always start towards the front. I want to find where my brow begins and I want to start right there at that point, right there, and ever so lightly start to fill that out. You can get a little bit more heavy-handed towards the middle of the brow, right here where my arch is, and then we're going to bring it down. That's a sharp point where my arch is, so we're just gonna brush it, soften it up. That's simple. Whenever you want to soften something that's harsh while you're doing your brows, you're going to use your spoolie brush and you're going to soften it up. So here I'm going to come out a little bit further than where my brow starts when I go to outline the bottom here. Remember, light hand towards the front, and you get a little bit more heavy-handed towards the center of the brow. And I go up to fill that in, to make it deeper. And we're going to bring that end down just a little bit to a little point. Just a little bit further here, softening that up. So now I have this part here where I've darkened this. Actually, we'll darken that just a little bit more. So I've darkened this portion of my brow, but the top part here is not filled in, and you can see that it's more sparse than the bottom half of my brow. So here I'm going to fill it in very little. It's not going to be really neat, but I want to like drag from the front back, drag from the front back, drag from the front back. Now others may not do their brows like this. They may like to fill them in with like a brow pomade. I've always enjoyed filling mine in with a pencil. I like that better. I feel like it's easier, not as many steps, but you can do the same thing with a angular brush and a brow pomade. You'd outline and then fill in if that's the texture that you like. So you see here I have a little bit of a line, so what I'm going to do is try to meet that line at the top here where we didn't bring that out, extend that out, because sometimes I don't want to do that, so I didn't bring it out, but now I want to even that up. And here all I'm doing is taking the tip of my spoolie and I'm softening up the front and brushing out the rest. I'm going on the top of my skin here because I want to clean that up. Make sure that's nice and soft. Now I'm going to take my Tarte Maracuja concealer, which I talked about at the beginning of this video, and I just put a dab on the back of my hand. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of that and I'm going to start to clean up my brows little bit on my brush. I'm going to start at the front here with a sharp line, and we're going to hug the brow. Where the hairs begin on our brows, we want to hug that line. We want to get really close to it. Again, the end here, the tail part, really close. Now we're going to go underneath. Again, hugging the hairs. Again, towards the end, we're going to make the top half and the bottom part meet, so we get a little point, as you can see here. I'm going to thin my concealer out a little bit. And then we're going to cut the front. Thinning my concealer out again. And what I'm going to do now is go underneath. I'm going to raise my brow and just hug a little bit more. This also gives you a great guideline on what you need to wax or tweeze, because you can see it really clearly here. So I could probably take more hair from here next time when I go to wax my brows. And I want to take my fingertips and warm that up and blend it in just a tad. I have no base on, but it's going to be fully blended in when we put our foundation on. And I like to take my damp beauty blender and just blend that in just a little bit more. And I'm going to go in and brush them just to make sure just the way I want them. They're not going to be identical, both of your brows. They should be cousins or sisters. They're never going to be the exact same, you guys. And I missed a hair, so I'm going to go ahead and clip that in now. All right, and perfect. There we have it. Brows.